suggest that you get with me. If you wanna be good, I mean really, really good, betting money on the wood, then get with me. Some people say I brag too much, always wanna be different. I wanna be like Muhammad Ali, cause he taught me how to be confident. Hi everybody, my name is Reginald Davin, and this is Officer KB.
Hello there.
And we want to welcome you to the show. Excuse me. If you are wondering why I'm wearing this costume, as you know, or maybe you don't know, I have an organization, Keisha and I have an organization designed to keep kids out of prison. And what I do is I teach them how to play chess, which we'll talk about in a little while. But I wear this costume because when I see the kids, one thing I want to remind them is that if I can change my life, so can you. So that's what we want. That's the point we want to make here. And Keisha, Officer Keisha, she is wearing this uniform because she wants to remind you of your Miranda rights.
Yes.
Meaning, if you don't change your life, she's one of the first person you're going to see, because what she's going to tell you is like, you have the right, first of all, she's going to say, you're under arrest, right? And you have the right to remain silent, right? And anything you use can be used against you in the court of law, and you have a right to an attorney, and if you don't have an attorney, we're going to get you one. So we just, between the both of us, what we want to do is we want, during this whole segment of the program, we want to remind you that this is where you don't want to go. You know, this is where you don't want to meet us. You don't want to be like me. You don't want to see her. See what I'm saying? So this is the image that we want to project. And let me just want to say something, because before Keisha became a part of the company and organization, you know, she asked me. She said, "Mr. Davin, I want to ask you a serious question, and that is, how do you tell kids what's right and what's wrong when you've been in prison?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, I mean, you know, like, okay, you've been in jail. I mean, how do you tell kids, you know, which way to go and which way not to go when you've been in jail?" You know? And I said, "Well, Keish, that's precisely why I can tell them about what's right and wrong, because I'm an authority on being wrong." You know what I'm saying? If you want to know what not to do, you need to come see me. But if you want to know what's stupid, how to do stupid stuff, I'm your man. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to clarify that. So I think that gives me an opportunity to really, you know, explain to you, you know, what I think is not the way to go. So with that said, we want to talk about some prizes, but you know what? We'll be right back after this commercial. Hey, we're back. I just want to say to you, we have a lot of prizes to give away.
Yes.
Right? We have shoes, right, for boys and girls, men and women, right? We have kind of shoes, you know, if you like to walk, whatever, right? And we have t-shirts with, these t-shirts is killing me. Okay, so yeah, we have for all sizes and
Colors.
all colors, right? And you can win these. Thanks, Keith.
Show the back.
Huh?
Show the back of the t-shirt.
We can. You can win these t-shirts. We're going to show you how you can win them, right? All you have to do. This is all you have to do. Is listen to this riddle. Keisha's going to recite a riddle. Listen to the riddle, and if you can guess what the riddle is, or if you can figure it out, then we want you shot of that. Can we see that?
Yeah.
Can we see that? Okay. Once you figure out the riddle, okay. Now, once you figure out the riddle, then you send your information to me. This is my email. This is my email. Reginald Dadvin, REGINALD, put 2 D's at the end, 319@gmail.com. Right? You give us a call during the show and let us know what you think is the answer. You get the answer correct, you win the prizes. And you can make a choice. But let me talk to you about what it is that these prizes. We want you to make a choice in the decision. You can have the shoes, you can have the t-shirt, or you can have the money. You know, I forgot to put on my hat. So, without further ado, put the hat on. Now I'm officially a criminal. Okay, so, right, so, we're gonna let you hit the commercial. I just want to real briefly tell you what you can get once you hit a riddle. We're gonna hit, she's gonna recite the riddle. Okay, and you can win money, but not real money. We don't have, we trying to get money. We're not trying to get away no money. But what we want to do is, if you decide that you want money, the money will allow you to get free lessons of chess. I also teach you how to play chess. What you're going to learn today is a little different from me teaching you how to play chess. So the point I want to make is that there are many organizations out there that are teaching kids how to play chess, and they're charging them $100 an hour.
Wow.
Which is a lot of money to learn how to play chess. And that's, you know, I mean, $50, $40. They got some chess instructors, $75, $80 an hour. That's a lot of money. I won't do that. I'm going to teach you how to play chess. This money will buy you 3 months of chess lessons at like 2 hours. We'll figure it out. I haven't quite decided how I want to do it, but we want you to buy, if you win, if you guess the riddle, or you can even, if you send us a donation, right, that'll help too. Right, but I'll talk about that later. But so the money, you make the choices. You can get the sneakers, you can get the shirt, you can get the money, whatever one you want to choose. If I were you, I would take the money, because the money will give you an opportunity to have us bring the program to you. We are on wheels, right? Or we're going to think about doing a telecast and making people pay for the telecast or whatever. We haven't figured out everything. This is our first real approach on trying to get this message out, you know. So I'm thinking, let's do what we can, and we'll work it out as we get there. So that's the whole point. Okay, so with that said, Keisha is going to tell you the riddle. Here is the riddle.
Hello everyone. Good luck with this riddle. Here we go. On my way to London, I met a London scout. So I took my hat and drew my cane. In this riddle, I said my name. What is my name?
Let's say it again. Let me say it because she's great. Okay. She said, on my way to London, I met a London scholar. So I tipped my hat and I drew my cane, and in this riddle, I've told my name. What is my name? So all you viewers out there, think about that, because his name is in there. You write us, email us, call us, come to the city, find us, and tell us what is the name of, what is this guy's name. You guess it, we give you the prize.
Absolutely.
That's how it's gonna go. With that said, that's how to go. So now we take a commercial. Hey, we're back on here. Hope you got the riddle. I'm thinking about the riddle, because this could win you. Okay. Let me explain, if I can, to you what I'm going to do. Gumbo Associates is an organization that I have. And what we do is we teach kids how to make good decisions and so on and so forth. But I want to talk to you about something that's very important. And what's important is, Keith's going to I'm going to talk about the first thing that's so important in this yeah, push it back. Yeah, like that. Can you see it? There you go.
There you go. Push it.
Okay. Let's do this. So that's 2, this is 3, we'll figure that part out, okay? So this is 3, this will be 4. Okay, this is what's important. In this program, one of the things that chess teaches you, the most important thing that chess teaches you is to be patient. The reason I say that is because in a chess game, you got one move, then your opponent makes a move. So in your one move, rather than to make a move haphazardly, you need to learn how to think it out. We'll talk about that. But here's my point. Patience is the key. Because if you do not exercise patience, you will not be successful. You understand what I'm saying? So, and personally speaking, you want to put the camera back on me? Personally.
Yeah, it ain't went off here.
Okay. Let me tell you something. A girl once told me, she said, Reggie, she was fine too. I'm gonna tell you, this sister was fine. I'm gonna tell you, you know how fine she was? You wanna know how fine this sister was? This sister was so fine, she made me go out and get a job. Now that's fine, because you know I ain't gonna work nowhere for nobody, right? So anyway, she said, Reggie, if you'd have just been patient, you could have had everything. But you try to want what you want when you want it. And I'm not that kind of person. You know, that's what you wanted, you maybe should have went up to Hollywood or something, you know what I mean? I'm not that kind of person. So, I'm telling you that. You know, sometimes when you, this is it, one of the mistakes I made, and one of the mistakes a lot of guys make when they go to jail and get out, is they want to get some money. And they try to catch up with the Joneses. And that's another mistake. You cannot come out of prison thinking, let me go do something until I get some money. You know, like you start making, first of all, you tell these big fat lies to yourself. You know, like, you know, I got to get out and make some money. I got to take care of my kids. Your lady was taking care of your kids while you was in there. So now you trying to act like now that I'm out, that's my responsibility. Your responsibility was stay out. That was your first responsibility, but you didn't do that. So don't try to justify the fact that now that you're out, you need some money right away. No, if you try to do that right away, you go right back where you came. So what am I saying? I'm saying that patience is important. Don't let money, don't let sex, don't let a lot of these things detour you from understanding the importance. And I'm saying that to say this too. Let me cap this whole thing. This program that if you think that this program that I'm teaching you, you're going to be able to get in overnight, no. You are not going to change all the things that you want to change overnight. You're going to have to exercise patience. And I want you to exercise these patience in what I'm teaching you. Don't look for me to give you these quick answers right now. Let me walk you through this program. Don't say, well, Uncle, you don't look for the real quick answers, because you'll never get the quick answers. Exercise this patience as I teach you, as I instruct you. That way, when we do get to these areas where it's important, you will understand it fully. So that's the point to be made. Patience is the key only in your life. And patience, I want you to exercise patience as you listen to me instruct you about this program. That's the key. Okay? With that said, Keith's gonna put up another sign.
Again. It's the importance.
Thanks, Keith. Okay. Now, chess has 3 parts to it. Chess has 3 parts to it. When you begin to play, it's called the open. The opening. After you've moved a certain amount of pieces, you come to the middle game. After you've gotten that part of that phase, you come to what we call the end game. Right? Now, so those are the 3 phases: the opening, the middle game, and the end game. Our life, your life, my life, Keisha, and all the people in this room know that success is predicated on the idea of how you start, how you continue, and how you finish. Right? Some of us, we start out right, but we don't continue. Come this Christmas, this New Year, you're gonna make some New Year resolutions. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna get my job. I'm gonna quit this guy that I've been fooling with. I'm gonna get me another this, I'm gonna get me another that. And you start out all right. But by February, you're back where you started. You know what I'm saying? You're right back where you started. And then some of us, we start and we continue something, or we started and we get going, but we don't finish. How many of us? There's I knew a guy. His name was, I'll think of his name in a minute, but he played basketball. Ernest Nelson in New York City. Ernest Nelson was perhaps the best basketball player as a kid in my neighborhood, right? But Ernie wanted some money, and he didn't exercise patience, right? And so he never finished school, and he lived. Ernest Nelson lived on a reputation he might have had. Every time he got into an argument or every time he got into something, he would say to people how good he could have been. And everybody knew how good he could have been. But he never finished. And that's what killed him. And Jesus once said, I probably don't know what Jesus said. I'm saying what Jesus said. This I read in the book where Jesus said. Jesus Christ said, sometimes doing something we know we should do can be even worse than doing something we know we should not do. Let me explain that. The biggest problem that Ernie had was not that he sold drugs to make money. The biggest problem Ernie had was he did not live up to the gift that God gave him. Sometimes doing something we know we should do can be worse than doing something we know we should not do. And by Ernie, not playing basketball with the gift that God gave him was worse than doing the drugs. So that's the point to be made when we talk about finishing. I'm going to take you through these steps, but I just want you to get a sense of where we're going with this here. We're going to talk about the opening, we're going to talk about the middle game, and we're going to talk about the end game. This first segment that I'm going to do with you is going to be solely centered around how we start. So with that said, Keith's going to change the sign for you, and we're going to be right back. There you go, Keith. Gotcha. Now, you know what? You got to get in the other outfit.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking that, I'm like, not bad.
Right. Okay, so now, first lesson. In order for this program to work for you, and one of the things that I stress to the kids that I teach is you must try to acquire the ability to stop and think. And this is not easy. It is not easy to learn how to not react. How many times have we done something and then regretted it later? How many times have you done something when somebody asks you, why did you do that? The first thing you say to a person is, they made me mad. He made me mad. Right. And you need to be careful because some things cannot be undone. You know what I'm saying? You know, you say something to somebody and hurt their feelings, and then you realize it was wrong to say that, you can't take that back. They might say to you, you know, you might say, well, listen, man, I'm sorry. And they might say, oh, it's okay. But the damage is done. You said something out of anger, you know, and it really cut deep. So, one of the things we want to show you is the most important thing that you can acquire in this Chesler in learning how to start is to develop the ability to learn how to stop and think. Chess will help you do that. Why? Because when you sit down, you just can't make a move. You have to stop and think it out. You just can't, you know, you just can't get up in the morning and decide, well, you know, I'm going to do this. You need to think, what am I going to do here? Right? Because you got one move. And that one move has got to be, it's got to be thought out. Because, I tell you this, it's got to be thought out. There are consequences. There could be consequences for you doing something if you don't think it out. If you don't, you know, decide or measure something out, if you don't think it out, you could be in trouble. And you can't get back. You know what I mean? So that's basically what we want to do. Keisha is changing costumes, so she'll be right back. Learning to stop and think is one thing, but there's another part to this, and that is learning to make good decisions. You may acquire the ability to stop and think, but you may not be able to make the good decisions that's necessary. We're going to talk about that. But I just want you to understand what this program is going to do, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to talk to you, I'm trying to teach you two elements that are going to be important if you are going to acquire, if you want to be successful. Okay? We have, what I'm telling you is that critical thinking here is what we teach. We teach kids how to develop critical thinking skills, right? And critical thinking skills means simply that we learn to make good decisions. But it's not easy, so don't get this impression that, you know, this is going to come, it's not going to come. It's not going to come easy. So, good decisions also means making good choices. decisions and choices sound similar, but there's a slight little difference here. So we're gonna teach you, we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna help you understand the importance of making good decisions, good good choices, and good selections. Sometimes we have to make the right selection. You know, sometimes we have to make the right choice. They sound similar, but they're not similar. They sound similar. Let me give you an example of how this thing sounds similar, but it's not similar. A valuable thing and a thing of value sounds the same, right? A valuable, like the camera that's taking my video. The video camera that's being used on me, like the video camera. So here's the point: a valuable thing and a thing of value sounds the same, but it's not. Let me explain. The camera that is taking pictures of me is a valuable thing, but the video that the camera takes is a thing of value. You would rather lose the camera than lose the video, because you can buy another video. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you have a camera, you take a camera of a picture of your family, of your girlfriend, this one time, this one moment in life, you know, you get together, you have a reunion, whatever, so you start taking pictures, right? Now, the pictures is a thing of value. The camera that you took it with is a valuable thing. But you'd rather lose the camera than lose the pictures. Because you can always replace the camera, but you can't replace the pictures. And that's a more magical moment. So do you understand? So once you understand that, then you understand this. Decisions and choices sound the same, but they're not. See, so that's the difference that I'm trying to show you. Okay? So I hope I'm making sense here. I hope this whole program, as I'm slowly walking you through this thing, I'm hoping that I'm making sense here. Right? So Keisha's back, and she's going to change another side. Doesn't she look great? She is too much. She just lucky I'm in jail. Okay. Here's another. This. You know, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And plus, let me just say, I'm talking to myself too. You know, as I'm explaining this stuff to you, I'm really talking to myself. I want you to understand that the first person that hears what I'm saying is me. My ears are closer to me than Jay. Okay. So. Now, let's watch this here. In a chess game, one of the things that I teach is how to approach the game from a mathematical standpoint. In other words, I use math to help the student understand what's the right move. Now, you may not understand how does math play a role, but I'm going to show you. But first, let's talk about mathematics, okay? The word mathematics doesn't have anything to do with numbers. Let's get that straight. The word mathematics has nothing to do with numbers. The word mathematics means something that is learned. That's what the word mathematics means, something that is learned, right? And since numbers are a science that is absolute. See, there's no variables inside. 1 and 1 is 2. You know, 1 and 1 is 2. Right? And when you count down, when you go from this height, watch this, you go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You say, well, where you go with 0? You keep going. It's minus 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 1. So you go the opposite way, it's minus. When you go this way, it's plus. But it doesn't stop. It's absolute. So that's my point. So mathematics is something that you can use in making a good decision and the right choices, which I will show you in a minute. It also means something that's studied, and it is also a science. For those that may not know this, music was not created and designed by a guy who knew how to make sounds. Music was music was created by a mathematician. Why? Because it deals with numbers. When you put down a note or something, you put it on a scale. You write it out. So that the same person, no matter what language he speaks, no matter what he comes from, it's all the same. You put a chart in front of a guy from France or a guy from Russia, he's going to be able to read it. Why? Because of the mathematics.
Yeah. Numbers don't change.
You know what I'm saying? The mathematics plays a role. That's how he's able to communicate. That's why music is so universal. As a result of the mathematics. So when you understand that, then you understand how we can approach this decision-making process, this stopping and thinking. We're going to all surround it on understanding the science of mathematics. I'm slowly walking you, as you can see, I'm slowly walking you through this process. We haven't got to the meat yet. But it's important, and you're using it, and I appreciate you using the patience to understand the step by step on how we are going to help you learn how to stop and think and how to make good decisions. So the mathematics, as you can see, is very important. Okay, so here comes Keisha. She's going to change another sign. So thank you. That's great. Okay, let's get into the mathematics here. There are 24 hours in a day. If you divide them in three, the same way chess is divided in three, chess is divided in three, right? We know that's the opening, middle, and end game, right? So if you divide 24 hours into three, you get 8 hours. 8 times 3 is 24, right? Now, let's look at the mathematics of this. 8 hours, you sleep. You're supposed to sleep.
Yeah,
Some of us don't get it.
you
I'm
know
a
what
person don't. We talk about getting 8 hours, but we don't get 8 hours. But 8 hours, I'm supposed to sleep. The other 8 hours, you're working. Right? So these last 8 hours, right, is yours. These last 8 hours out of the day is yours. The question becomes, what are you going to do with your 8 hours? That's the question that I'm putting in front of you. You have 8 sleep, 8 to work, you got your 8 hours out. Some of us, you know, some of us take some of these work, some of us put the 8 that's ours and keep working.
Yeah.
Some of us put the 8 hours in it and keep sleeping. No. You know what I'm saying? I won't call no names. Right? You know, some of us, you know, work 20 hours and no time for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And our justification is, you know, like when the husband come home and he doesn't spend a lot of time at home like he should with his kids, with his wife. I've seen relationships, including my own, go down the drain. Why? Because we're spending more time in areas that we not really necessary. You understand what I'm saying? And your justification is, well, listen, that's what tell your wife. If I don't get no more work, look where you live. You see all the stuff that you got, how you living, see what the kids got, right? If I don't work, you won't have none of this. So how you gonna, I gotta keep working. But you know, the kids don't necessarily need as much material stuff as they need a father.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. So here's back to my point. Your 8 hours. Now, I want to talk to you about this. Because in your 8 hours that are yours, my advice is to find something in that 8 that gives you peace of mind. Because peace of mind is everything. Peace of mind is everything. You could be You could be a father struggling to make ends meet. You could be a mother struggling to make ends meet. You know, you don't know where you're gonna get this from. You don't know where you're gonna get that from. You know what I'm saying? And you're struggling. But when you come home, your kids love to see you. You know, and you embrace them, hi mama, hi dad, and that keeps you going. Cause, let me flip it. You could have money, cars, all that, and come home, and you and your wife you and her don't get along. Or your kids ain't home. Or your kids, you know what I'm saying? They doing something. You know, where's Todd at? He's out playing. Where? What's he doing? You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he's at. You don't know where he's at? No, you know. Then Todd, and when he walks in the door, Todd, I'm talking to you. You don't have that relationship. But you got all the money in the world. So what's more important? The peace of mind or the money? So the peace of mind is important, right? I could go into this a little deeper, but I think you understand the point. So let's go back over again. In your 8 hours, you want to do something that balances you. Let me tell you what I do. I get up in the morning and I pray. I just want to say this to you. You know, I'm a Muslim, but I'm a part-time Muslim. You know what I'm saying? This is what I mean when I say I'm a part-time Muslim. One day I was walking out of my house, right? And my neighbor said, he said, Mr. Davin. I said, hey. He said, I want to ask you a question. I said, what do you want to ask? He said, you're a Muslim, right? I said, yeah. He said, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. He said, how come you play gospel music every Sunday morning? He said, every Sunday I hear you playing, you know, the Five Blind Boys and Mahalia Jackson and Kurt Franklin and all of them. I said, he said, how does a Muslim play the gospel? I said, well, I'm going to tell you. I can tell you in a few words. He said, what's that? I said, well, I don't know what you come to do. I don't know what you come to do. I come to pray my God. So he started laughing, right? I said, Salaam alaikum. He said, hey, Islam. And so that was so funny. Because he was like, yeah, and I'm telling you that it's not about the religion. I'm Muslim because of the discipline. I'm in it, you know what I'm saying? I learned how to stop eating during the course of the day. I learned how to, there's so many things, I don't even want to go into that. So I'm not in it because, I'm not here to push Islam on anybody. Because I read the Bible. I do. I know the Bible inside out. I can tell you about Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judge, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, Ezra, Nehemiah, 1st Job. I can go to the New Testament, tell you about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Ephesians. I can tell you all about that. I studied all that. And it's not about the religion, it's about what you put in it. It's what you put in it. But I'm telling you, let's go back to my original point. I get up in the morning and I check in. I check in and I say to myself, you know, God, I know something's getting ready to happen. I just want you to give me the, you know, strength to walk tall and walk straight, right? And then as soon as I get out, go outside, somebody start acting a fool. I said, boy, I knew you was coming. I knew he was coming. I checked. God told me he was going to come this morning. And so it helped. And so that's the point. In your 8 hours, let's get this straight. In your the hours that belong to you, you already worked, you already making your money, you already slept, you already got your rest. Get your rest. Get your money. But these 8, those yours. What are you going to do with them? That's the key. Make sure in yours, you get this. You know what I'm saying? Money can't buy this. Can't buy this. So I hope I made sense about this particular thing. Okay, with that said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to stop for a commercial. So with that said, we'll be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. I want to talk about a couple of things. This has to do with our decision-making process and our stopping and thinking, right? Okay. Let's talk about diseases. let's talk about 3 diseases that, okay, alcohol is the number 1 disease that can destroy you, your family, your relationship, everything, right? The second is drugs, right? The third is gambling. These 3 diseases, if not checked, can destroy you. So the point that I'm making is that you have to learn how to overcome bad habits. Right? Now, here's my point. Let me show you something. Alcohol Anonymous. Well, let me say this. None of these 3 bad habits how do I say it? Alcoholic Anonymous, Drugs Anonymous, Gambling Anonymous, all these programs work. All these programs work. Only you have to make a decision that you're ready to stop. These programs do not work if you're not ready to stop. If you're ready to stop, these programs work like a charm. But if you're not, they won't work. So let me tell you why they're looked upon as a disease. I want to break this down for you. 2 men, whose names escape me right now, but next time I do my show, it won't happen. 2 men that were alcoholics. One was a doctor, and one was a stockbroker. And they started in Akron, Ohio. It's coming back to me. They started in Akron, Ohio to try to figure out how to stop other people from becoming alcoholics. They were alcoholics, right? So the doctor went to the stockbroker. He said, listen, I got an idea. He said, what? He said, we need to make people think that alcohol is a disease. He said, I don't get you. He said, look, if people think that alcohol is a disease, then they can believe that it can be cured. If you can show somebody that something is in the realm of being cured, so we should call it, we say that alcohol is a disease and we can cure it. He said, I still don't, you're not making sense. He said, watch this here. He said, John the Baptist in the Bible went down to the Jordan River and made people think that if we dip you up under that water and bring you back up, your sins was washed away. Right? Yep. And when it goes down to the Jordan River, right? So, but we know that water can't wash no sins away. Right. We know that. Where you been? See? But it was the idea. The people believed that once you did go up under and come up, your sins away. So we use the same concept. Once we make them believe that it's a disease, then we can cure them. Yes. Cypress, I got you. I figured it. I got you. Right? So they took off. Now watch this here. Let's bring it back down here to my trip here. So, when you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, they got what they call 10 rules for this and 10 rules. They got 10 rules for the individual and they got 10 rules for the community. I forget exactly what it is, but let me tell you one of the rules, the 10 rules for the individual. This is what they say. They don't promote God, but this is what they say. They say, I must admit that I am powerless against this and that there is a higher power that's going to kill me. Who they talking about? They're talking about God. But they don't want to come out and say, as a Christian, they can't say that. Because everybody coming in ain't a Christian. Can't go there talking you're a Jew. They got to say it's a higher power. They got to give God another title. You understand what I'm saying? And they make it clear that you cannot do anything without God.
Yeah.
You cannot stop drinking without God. You cannot stop drugs without God. You cannot stop gambling without God. Don't you understand? And I'm just telling you this here. Let's go back to my thing about me checking in with God. You got to check in, man. If you do not check in, you will check out. Let me show you. Give me another scenario. One that I always think about. God forbid. Let's just say your son gets hit by a car, or he's got a daughter, she's injured badly. She's in critical condition. You go to the hospital. You sitting in the waiting room. The doctor comes out. You and your family walk up to him. What's going on, doc? They say, well, Mr. Davin, I've done all I can. She's in critical condition. We've done all we can. It's in God's hands now. Even the doctor will tell you, after all his professional stuff, all he can do professionally, now it comes to a point where God is going to make the final decision. Right? I'm telling you this. God was always in it. It was always in his hands. He just put your daughter there to make you understand who's in control. Then you realize. Because as soon as something happens, who you go to? As soon as something happens, oh Lord, God, then everything stops. Then you start making right decisions now.
Yeah.
And you stop stopping and thinking. So that's my point. That's my point. We want to walk you through. I'm giving you a real brief lesson, quick lesson thing. We're going to come back next week and we're going to go through this. And I just want to give you a real brief summary of where we're headed. So Keith's going to bring up the last sign, which is, I don't know, where's that? We have one more. Oh, is this it? Yeah. No, this is 10. Where's 10? Last but not least. Oh! Boy, that's self-explanatory, ain't it? I mean, that says it all. Learning to finish what you start. Right? That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're going to show you. This chess program, my curriculum, T-Shy and Cameraman, we're all going to show you how to finish what you start. And if you were playing chess, if you were studying chess, you would know that the best way to, when I was playing chess, I had to study first how to start from those people that were successful, how to continue from those people that were, successful, and how to finish by those people that were successful. Sometimes I didn't get, the person that knew how to start didn't quite give me all the information on how to continue. He just gave me the information on how to start. Then you have experts on how to continue. You got experts in each field, right? You got experts in every field. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you can't learn about putting your mind to becoming a computer expert from LeBron James, because LeBron James plays basketball. You're in the field of medicine, so you need somebody that's in the field of medicine. Even though LeBron James and the guy in medicine is successful, you got to use somebody that's in your field. You see what I'm saying? You can't, You can't go to just anybody to learn how to finish. You got to go to the people. If you want to be a doctor, then you got to go to the doctor people and learn how to finish being a doctor. If I'm making sense, you know what I'm saying? So that's the point that I'm making. So in chess, each field or each how do I say it? Each part, like the beginning, middle, and end, each part has an expert in it, right? To open, we have experts that show you how to do open. The reason I'm saying is because there are different ways to open. If you play chess, you know there's different ways to start. Right? So you got to find out, you know, if you're religious, you got to go to find religion. How do I start religiously? If you're socially, how do I start socially? You know, if you're financially, how do I start financially? So each particular thing is different. There's different ways to start. There's different ways to continue. There's different ways to finish.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're going to go into those elements, right? It's been a pleasure to have you look at the curriculum. I hope you've enjoyed some of the things. We're going to take a commercial. We're going to be right back. Don't forget the prizes. You want to email me during the week. Let me know whether or not you think you've guessed it. We hope you try and guess it, right? Do we want to say it one more time? Let's Keith, come on, we're going to say it one more time. We're going to say it one more time. Let her tell it to you one more time, just in case you did not hear it. And here she is. Let me see. Can you see her?
Okay.
Can you see it? Here she is.
Once again for y'all. On my way to London, I met a London scholar. So I took my hat and I drew my cane. In this riddle, I said my name. What is my name?
So with that said, we want to see you next week. Hopefully we'll hear from you during the week when you email us. Oh, one other thing, donations, content. We are going to show you how, you know, we have a PayPal thing which we'll put up on the board the next time we come. And it'll show you how to, if you want to make, I think that $1 donation from all you guys would be so helpful. Some people say, you need more money than that. Well, if you send me $1 on my PayPal thing, we'd appreciate it. Because we're going to use all that money to help keep this program going, to help keep the theaters going, and to help keep this free publicity thing that we're doing. So with that said, we want to say goodbye. We have a video we want you to see just before you leave, and hopefully we'll see you next week. With that,
See ya.
see you. I want to say, hope you had a pleasant show. Hope you liked the show. We're looking for you to come back next week and do it. But before we go, I just wanted to talk real briefly about a book that I wrote. I'm wondering, can we get a close-up on this book here a little bit? The book is called Only God Can Judge. Right? That's the name of the book, right? Mm-hmm. And this book is about a Muslim woman and a Jewish guy, not me, and a Jewish guy. They get married and they have a son that's gay. And they don't have a clue on what to do with it. You know, the mother thinks that, well, if I make him more spiritual as a Muslim, it will change him. And the father, being Jewish, thinks, well, if I make him a police officer like myself, he'll be more masculine. But neither of these approaches work. And you may be wondering why I particularly wrote this book. It's because I have a daughter that's gay. And she's taught me so much. And most of all, she's taught me that, you know, only God can judge. You know what I mean? Only God can judge. And so that's the purpose behind the book. And there's a lot more going on in this book. I mean, the mother and father are on the run for murder. They've killed somebody, so they come to America. She impersonates a lawyer and becomes a judge. He impersonates another gentleman, and he becomes a police officer. He's like a lieutenant in the armed service. And there's a lot of things going on. There's romance. There's action. There's a lot of things that help to make a good picture. So I just want to say that we're on Amazon, and if you're interested in buying the book, you know, you can go to Amazon and pocket book, and I think I have some other stuff.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh
my goodness.
Geez. Listen, I forgot to get my pants. As you can see, we need the money.
Oh my goodness.
We need the money more than ever, right? Because we could use any money you donate. I can't even get my pants out of the clinic. That's just crazy. There's no way. Sorry. We'll see you next week.
Oh gosh.